If you're offended, well, we do not apologise. If you can look at this with an open mind and not take life too seriously, then you may just come away well and truly entertained.
Never fear, Sean Begg is here, and today's guest is Robert McLeish, aka Bobby Roberts, the wrestler. Now on to the show. How you doing?
How you doing, sir? How's things? Long time.
Oh, good, man. I liking your room.
Oh no, this is my office.
Oh well, it's a cool office, like.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on. This is a Caithness podcast, and basically anybody who's been up to Caithness or worked in Caithness or from Caithness, who's got an interest in story, I just try to get them on, and it's a platform for them to speak about themselves.
No, thank you very much. I was did, and then I've done a few with Billy Strachan, obviously, and a few others. So, this is the first Caithnessian podcast I've done.
Well, it's none about. I moved back up, and they're all doing in the central belt, and I thought, let's do something different and try to do something up here, like.
So you're back in Wick?
Yeah, I moved back about two years ago. But we start off anyway. Where did the love of wrestling come from? What was your first moment?
Jesus, like I've always had the same answer. Like since I was a boy, like the way I look at wrestling is the way I've grew up with, the way wrestling's grew up. Obviously, when I was a boy, I mean, I'm 42. Oh, no, I am 42. I was 42 last week, and it was when I was a boy. It was Hulk Hogan, Warrior, Macho Man, the cartoon style. The golden age of wrestling, obviously, and then you get into the pageantry and the character and the big bold colours and the music and everything. And then as I grew up, wrestling's grew up. So when I didn't watch as much of it when it was Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, God, the really dodgy gimmicks like Duke the Dumpster Droese and stuff. And then when I was in my teens, DX, Austin, The Rock, Triple H, and so forth and so forth. But then, like, to get right into it, when they released the documentary Beyond the Mat in 1999, 2000, that opened my eyes up completely to everything wrestling, and that's where the obsession really took over. And from there, it just skyrocketed. If back then, I mean, I was 16, 17, and I didn't know what a training school was. I didn't know there was anything near me. And at that point, there really wasn't. And I held out. And then finally, when I turned 28, I walked through the doors of Source Wrestling School at Govan in Ibrox, and the rest is history. You know what I mean? That's me. Been it'll be 16 years this November. I've been part of wrestling.
That's mental because there's two things there. What you're saying, like I'm kind of close to your some of your age. I'm like late 30s.
Yeah.
It was a golden era. I can always mind that, but it was a attitude era what got me into it.
Yes.
It was because I was moving about and I was going to different schools, and I thought, right, I need to get into wrestling. Everybody's into wrestling.
Yeah.
And it means it was the attitude era, but it was beyond the map what done me. That was the one. Before then, I thought wrestling, because it was a Bret Hart era, I just found it Mickey Mouse. But when I seen it, it's not as fake as it looks.
A lot of people done that. A lot of people during like Bret Hart, like you call it the Mickey Mouse era. You know what I mean? What did they call it? Oh, God, the new generation, the new gen era. And I mean, obviously, you look back then, and that's when obviously WCW started taking off. Also, they got Hogan, they got Macho Man, Lex Luger, and all that. And even then, I didn't really watch WCW either. My dad had a membership to the local video shop down the road, and he would rent out sometimes. Like I think one of the ones we watched was Halloween Havoc for like 1994, 93, 94, and that's when I stopped really watching it because I remember it was Abdullah the Butcher get put in the electric chair, and they turned the electric chair on, and I'm like, this is pish. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. It's so bad. And we used to get it taped for us as well because we back in the day it was cable TV. You had Thompson cable running about this way, and you were lucky if you got Sky Sports, and then obviously you had to stay up late to watch it, which we never did. And somebody would tape it, and the tape would go round about the schools. You know what I mean? And it would be taped on long play.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so you had to have a long play video recorder to watch it, or else you couldn't
Oh,
watch it. And that was how we watched wrestling years ago. But then obviously when Sky came out properly, and my love for it got ignited again when my mate who used to site literally just down the road, he moved in first year. He didn't know that his mum had there was cable already in the house
all right.
at all. His mum didn't know this, he didn't know this, nothing. He sat one day tuning his telly in because there was a box there and he had
Oh,
Sky
amazing.
TV.
I was
Yeah.
like,
See, honestly, it was like it's like finding a porno in the woods.
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to
Yeah,
say.
and he's like, "Oh, you need to come watch this." And we're all watching Raw at 1 in the morning. Like, what? No, I tell her like we'd watch TNT, we'd watch WCW up until like 11, 12 o'clock, and then it'd switch over and watch Raw. So
Aye.
we'd be having like sleepovers at my mate's house down the road, and he's got free Sky. Oh, this is fucking brilliant. This is absolutely amazing. And
I
then
mean,
obviously he moved, and it was like, oh, that's pish. But then
uh,
I started watching obviously Beyond the Mat when I left school, and like I said, it became an annual tradition for me and my mate to watch Beyond the Mat before the Royal Rumble. And we've
okay.
done that up until like 2003 or something like that when I came out of the army and I got and I met my partner, and then he moved out, so we stopped doing it. But then that still kept me going. I was still going, right, I need to do this. Where can I do it? When can I do it? And eventually I just went, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And then obviously went to Source, and then paid
I,
my dues, still paying my dues to this day. So,
See, I think it's weird because like because I kept on saying we're kind of roughly in the same age. Like it's like because I lived down south for years, and I never knew there was any wrestling skills anywhere near me. You see if I knew that, like even like where I was saying like Bathgate was only like 20 mile away,
yeah,
or something. I just knew nothing now because the internet wasn't really available. I say, man,
no,
even
no.
I would have went years ago, but
I mean,
I was a late bloomer when I got into wrestling. Like I was like 26 when I got into that. Like and
well, similar thing. You know what I mean? When I started at Source, there was Source, PWW, SWE, and SSW and W3L. That was it. That was
uh,
all the schools you had in Scotland, nobody else. And now there's so many. It is unbelievable. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that because you learn there's a wealth of knowledge there to be had. And I've always said this to anybody I train or any of my trainees from the training school. Go get as much knowledge as you can, but look into where you're going first. Make sure who's training you's got a good pedigree of knowledge. They've done something, they've travelled, even though it's a prop, held championships, because at the end of the day, if a company trusts you enough, you get a belt, and that's still a big thing, even though
yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
of course,
prop.
yeah.
Make sure you do that. But then there's so many schools out there now that you're like, why are they coaching?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And this is where I get into very dangerous territory where I start going, pew, pew.
uh,
But obviously I'll not mention names and stuff like that. But I mean, like you were saying, like back when I was training, you either went to one school or the other. That was it. You didn't go to both. You couldn't go and switch. You could go to a seminar, but you couldn't go and switch schools. You couldn't go come here and go there. You couldn't go to Source and next week go to PBW. You weren't allowed to do that. You are.
it's, it's still kind of I don't know like because I haven't been in it for like
It's 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 like that again now. I
is
think uh, it's all hushed and whispered now. That's the problem. It's like, oh, you can't work for this guy if you work for that guy, and blah blah blah. And I've got to a stage in my career where I don't give a fuck.
yeah.
Sorry if I'm swearing on your
No, no,
podcast.
you can swear it. You can swear away.
Good, good. I'm at the stage in my career where I go, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. If you want to work for me, if you don't want to work for me, if you want to be trained by me, that's great, fantastic. If you don't, guess what? I'm still going to go to sleep tonight and I'll wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Life goes on. In other news, water's still wet and fork found in kitchen. I don't care. Uh, so sorry, I went on a wee bit of tangent there. But it's like you're saying about the training aspect of things, it's night and day
Mm-hmm.
then compared to now. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think the highest, the furthest training school up north is obviously
Yeah,
up
yeah,
north.
yeah.
And then there's nothing until you hit Bathgate or Edinburgh or Dundee.
Aberdeen's got somewhere,
Oh,
I'm sure.
WrestleZone Academy, yeah. WrestleZone Academy. They're their own wee entity in there. They're their own wee
It's
bubble.
nothing. It's all in the Central Belt, and it's just one in Aberdeen, but it's nothing in Inverness, nothing like that.
No.
But that's one thing. I'll probably get onto it later on. But I hate to sort of like you can't work with this people, you can't do this, and we're friends with them. Means you're allowed to work with them, and it's like we're all into a niche sort of sport. It means
Yeah.
why can't we not all work
Yeah,
together?
everybody's going to cross paths at some point, especially when you work in Scotland. When there's only, at that point, there was only so many promotions. Now there's fucking hundreds of promotions. I think there's like 60 or something in Scotland alone, and they're all run by the same people under different names.
Yeah,
But I mean, just check that out in the company's house, just saying. So, phew. uh, Aye, so it's you're going to run into these people, you're going to work with them, and if you turn around and start going, "I'm not working for him, I'm not working for this guy," or you turn around and say, "I can't work with you because he says she says bullshit," it's narrows down your field. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
at the end of the day, you wouldn't go into your shit job and
Mm.
go, "I'm not working with him because he said this about this guy." You would just be told, "Well, fuck off and go get a new job then." This is the role. This is what annoys me about professional wrestling more than anything else, especially in Scotland. It's a job. If it's a hobby, great, fantastic. It's a brilliant wee hobby. Don't
Yeah,
some people can pick and choose. That's fantastic. If you want to pick and choose, great. But if you're in that point in your career where you want to get work, you want to impress, you want to put your name out as much as you can, you cannot afford to just go, I'm not working with you because of him. I'm no wrestling because I heard this. I'm not doing this because of that. It's like, just go in and do the job. You're wrestling for 20, 30 quid in your pants in front of
yeah,
maybe 100 to 120 people if you've got a good crowd.
yeah, yeah.
There are no superstars at the end of the day. There's way too many egos in wrestling.
I
Way
was
too many.
I was just about to say this, right? Because again, it's like why is it so cliquey? Because I've been to other like sports
Mm,
and it doesn't seem to have that, but
no.
like wrestling really does have it. And I'm not one for drama, like I keep it out, but like you hear stories and that, and then it's stuff you sort of go, you look back and go, it's quite cliquey, yeah. But
Ego.
it's just egos,
That's it. Just ego. Complete ego. It's I'm better than you because X, Y, and Z. I'm better than you, or I've learned more than you. I've been in the business longer than you. So, okay, but what have you done?
Yeah,
I mean, I've got an ego because I'm a narcissist. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be in this business unless we fucking loved ourselves. We love adoration. Every
yeah.
wrestler I know is either got ADHD or autism, and
Um,
it's there because we want that adoration. We're dopamine addicts.
yeah,
We love that adoration from the crowd, whether it be getting booed or cheered. We love getting told you've done a great job. Everybody does. Why would you not? But when the ego takes over. And that's when you go, well, I'm this guy and I've blah, blah, blah. It's like, mate, you wrestled in your pants last week and baby oil and fake tan. Shut the fuck up.
I always say people who believe into wrestling is wrestlers themselves. They believe into their own ego and they go, "Yeah, I won this.
Exactly.
Like, this makes sense."
Exactly. If the worst thing is being a mark for yourself, it's
Uh,
like,
uh,
don't get me wrong. I had that. I used to have that. That was me back in it. Like, see, when I was wrestling up north, it was like hero worship. You
uh,
know what I mean? To me, and I'd come back home fucking like, yeah, I'm fucking Billy Big Boys. It's like, no, mate, I'm wrestling up north in a fucking Legion. Come on, fuck.
yeah,
But
but the thing is, if it wasn't for you at that time, like I put it to the next step. Like I was away from him when
yeah.
that happened, but like, and then I'm sure you got them booked down south as well a few times, or was it booked through you?
So when obviously I started Respect Pro Wrestling in 2016,
Uh-huh.
and I obviously at that point I did have a ring, and I hired the ring from up there. And obviously, I was like, right, okay, I'm going to put you in the show as a thank you. You're doing well. You're doing great. I was helping when I went up. I'd help with training as much as I could. I didn't want to step on toes. I brought people in as well. I brought in the likes of Glendon Bar, DCT, God, Christopher Saint, Viper, Piper Niven. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? People that are like WWE starter. Well, I knew WWE starter was wrestling in Caithness.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So bring up these people that are learned and know what they're doing. And I mean, Dunbar's still there. So the guys that are still there are still learning a lot of knowledge off people and bringing them down as well and bringing them into a different environment that is completely different. Caithness didn't know what wrestling was.
Mm.
And I'm no dissing it in any way whatsoever. It's like, wrestling down here and then wrestling up there were
Yep.
two different levels. You know that yourself. Uh, and training completely different in
Yeah.
every way whatsoever. And again, I would not go into that issue about training and whatnot because I can't be bothered with any aggro. When I first started throwing my CV everywhere, as you do when you're coming at the blocks, I'd messaged Caithness Pro Wrestling. At this point, I had some wee skinny guy come up for Leeds. I think
Yeah.
that David met somewhere. I've no idea where. And he's like, "Oh, we've not got any space just now." And I was like, "All right, cool, not a problem. I'll check in with you." So a month goes by and I check in with him and say, "Just to let you know, I'm still here. I'm really interested in coming. I've actually got family in Thurso, and I know for a fact they'd buy tickets to come see. So if you're interested," and then at that point, I think that's what kind of, "Oh, you can sell tickets." I was like, "Well, aye." So I did. And I brought up Piper Niven with me at the time as well.
Yeah.
We came up and I remember the show. It was called Randoms. Caithness Pro Wrestling Presents Randoms, and I ended up talking myself into doing a gauntlet match and winning Big Bob's £1,000 slam challenge or something like that as well, which was good.
Yeah.
And then from there, like we got on like a housing fire. He said, "Do you want to come back up in a couple of months?" I was like, "Yep, not a problem. I will happily do that." I did, and then he put the belt on me.
Aye.
And I was
That's
like,
good.
that was my first ever main company championship. And I held that with so much pride. I took that and defended that all over Britain. I
Yeah.
was defending it in Scotland. I was getting booked in England. I took it down to Morecambe where myself and Lewis Girvin were part of like the biggest stable in Morecambe. Morecambe Wrestling was quite big in England at the time. And we were the referendum because this was during the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
We were the most hated stable in Morecambe, and I'm walking about with the AEW Tag Team Championships on one shoulder and the CPW Championship on the other. So I'm trying to bring notoriety to Caithness, and I'm
Mhm.
getting people messaging, "Oh, can you get me booked up there? Any chance you could put in a word?" I'm like, "Aye, no problem." So I would mention to Dave about X, Y, and Z, and eventually, like, I was helping him book and storylines. Like we managed to together. We took Caithness Pro Wrestling to Orkney. We ran the first show in 10 years in the Picacoy Centre in front of just over 300 people.
Yeah, that's good.
And then
Yeah.
same with the Wick Assembly Rooms. Like
Mhm.
David never used the Wick Assembly Rooms ever because I don't think he kind of had the knowledge, and it's not a dig on him of
No,
his.
he did. When we first started, we started in the assembly rooms, but in because it was costing too much money, like we never ran a show here. And then and we found a place. I found a place. It was an old shop, and I got out for him, and we stuck a ring in there for a wee while. I mean, it was a diva shop, but it
Yeah.
was cheaper. And aye, means that was it. And then we end up doing what's it? Is it a Legion or whatever? I can't mind.
Well, he's in a Legion now. Aye, he's but I think they moved the training school. I'm not sure. It was in the BB Hall. Then
That's
they moved to the BB Hall to Christ, what's the town just along the road?
it. Castleton.
Castleton. I was in Castleton, and
Yeah,
then I think they've moved somewhere to Thurso. I'm not sure. And they do training on a Tuesday night. I can't mind.
yeah.
Uh, but obviously we ran back to back shows, and the assembly rooms drawing 200 plus every time,
Yeah.
compared to the 50 to 60 to 70 people that were in the Legion until myself and Kim and stuff like that coming. I mean, no, this is where I do blow my own horn.
Yeah.
Like I don't think. And I've still got the messages from Dave and trainees. It wouldn't be where it is without myself.
Yeah, of course.
And
No,
I'm no bothered if that gets back to him because he can't disagree on that. You know
no.
what I mean?
I mean,
And it
I
did.
would say because
Sorry,
like
go.
I would say because when I was doing a rod and when you came up and it changed. Like we're watching videos and it was like it was in the what is it in the hall and the lights and that, and even you're doing a commentary over it, and it's like this looks more professional. This looks really professional, and you're getting people from down south coming up. And you, just like you said, you're going about with your championship, and then people are like, "Oh, is that CPW? Where's that about?" You know, because I mind Lucha coming up to me because I had a Caithness flag, and he's like, "What flag's that?" And I was like, "Caithness," and explained about that, and I think he started going up as well
Yep.
that way. Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I remember Lucha's debut, and he kept coming up because he made a fortune in merch. Like, bless, I love Rusty Bits. Lucha, if he could make money at a show in merch, he'd be there for fucking years. And he was. And he took the belt, which is fun. I think I had the belt 3 times, if I remember right. I did. And like that was honest to God, one of the best times of my career was wrestling at Caithness. I loved the fans. I loved helping run the show and putting it together, and it gave me my thirst to do it myself.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's partly one of the reasons why Respect Pro was born. That and James St. James Cage, who used to run what was Source, the old Source shows, and Pride Wrestling in Glasgow. Uh, he gave me that kind of boost to say I can do this. And then I run
yeah.
my first show on the 26th of November in my old primary school, which was due to close, literally closing that like 3 weeks later. So we were the
Yeah.
last ever event to be in that primary school. It was a very emotional night. Sold out 125 people, which they were only legally allowed to put that in. And it was a great wee show. And it's still online. It's still online. I think it comes under Night of Family Fun Wrestling. And I've got the full show there. I've clipped it where it's just me and Dave in the main event. We wrestled each other so many times, and we always had semi good matches. For
I watched that the other night. Is it one when Dave's in his black and red
Yeah,
gear?
yeah,
I thought
and I
it was
look like a cheap
good.
rip off of Kevin Owens.
It was good though. Eh? It was
Yep.
I like that match. Like,
And it was a great wee match. I mean, one of my favourite matches, and it would never get recorded, was me versus Dave in the Picklecoy Centre in Orkney. And it
all
was
right.
brilliant. And we wrestled. We done a brawl up and down the stairs, and it was absolutely fantastic. And then obviously, 2017, November 18th, 2017, I stupidly broke my neck in Caithness, and I thought that was me completely done. Like that, I still remember that night. That was, and I don't even actually remember what I know the match. I've seen it back, and I know how I broke my neck. But I didn't know I broke it until 3 days later.
Jesus.
And I'd only went into the hospital because my pinky was like hanging like this, and my knee was sore. I says, can you check me over?" And I showed them a picture of what basically me taking the flare bump from the top rope through four steel chairs, and I didn't tuck my chin fast enough. And
Jesus.
they're like, "Oh, can we X-ray you?" I was like, "Yeah, not a problem." Full X-ray, yeah. So Mr. McLeish, you've got a wee tear in your ACLs. Oh, yeah, I know that. And your pinky's kind of fractures, yep. And you've broken your neck. I was like, what? Yeah, you've fractured your C3 vertebrae. It's called a hangman's fracture. I was like, okay. They're like, how did you get here? I was like, well, I drove and walked in. Like, you shouldn't have been able to walk in. You broke your
Jesus.
neck. I was like, okay. So they've clamped my neck and I'm lying back, like, okay, and I lay there for like 6 hours and eventually say, right, here's a new neck brace. It's like a J brace or something it's called to keep my head in place. And then as soon as I got in the car, took it off. I was like, I'm fine. And
No way.
then a week later, I was in a car crash and fucked my neck again. So,
You broke it
all
twice.
right. Hmm?
You break your neck twice, then, eh?
I've actually, no, well, no, that was already still broken at that point, but I have broke it twice. But
Jesus.
I say my very last match, pardon me, before my last match when I retired, I I took a move and obviously I shit canned myself through the middle ropes as you do, but
Mhm.
my foot got caught in the bottom middle ropes, so I tripped and as I went through the rope, I've landed hard on the floor in the community centre I run. It's concrete, and I landed and my neck went again. In the very last match, that was me. I done my neck. Also lost about half a pint of blood as well.
I watched that match last night because I heard about it, and then yeah, I watched it. It was good. I loved the ending. I loved the whole story. When you're coming out and your face is covered in blood, and then everybody came out and started clapping. I thought I really liked that. I thought, you know what,
That was
send
probably
off, a good send off. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that match because I've been told those are the best punches I've ever thrown. And it was my last one. I'm like, oh, fucking hell, Jesus Christ. And I watch it and go, that was quite good.
Yeah, yeah.
We had so many bits planned in that match as well. Like there was thumbtacks meant to get used. I was meant to staple DCT's like his 8x10 to his face and stuff like that, and just balls to the wall. I mean, there was even I planned a moonsault in there somewhere as well. I mean, I'm a fat
Wait,
guy and I can
you did a
actually,
moonsault?
yeah.
Jesus, I
I
never
mean,
done
there's only a few people ever seen it, and I've never done it during a show or a match
that.
because I don't want to do it. It's like
No.
somebody told me once, and I hate the guy, but the best piece of advice he ever gave me, and I've told this to a lot of people, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Bret Hart was a fine example. Bret Hart could moonsault and do all the stuff that his brother could. He just didn't need to.
Yeah.
So I can moonsault, I can fly off the top rope. I just don't need to. You know what I mean?
Nah.
My bump counter is coming down very slowly now. So I mean, I only just went back to wrestling again on November there. So, and I've had
I'll just
4 matches since I've been back. So
ask. Because I'm like we fired through a lot of questions, but I'm probably end up going to come back on the same questions again. Means you see when you broke your neck, I mean like you had to stop for a wee while, but was it? If that was me, I would have just went. That's it, game over. You know, I rest not killing myself.
yeah,
Means you came back after 3 broken necks. You know,
gear take, aye.
uh,
It's stupidity.
uh,
It's just sheer. The people use this statement for the love of the game,
right?
and you know yourself. Wrestling's one of those things where you're either in it for life or you're not.
Yeah,
And
I think
unfortunately,
you always get itch.
I'm in it for life. Like I
Yeah,
will be always. I mean, it's caused issues, family life, a lot. You know what I mean?
right.
Uh, it's unfortunately one of those things. I'm a massive dopamine addict. So when it comes to wrestling, it's the biggest form of dopamine I've got. I
Mhm.
was watching people do when I retired. Like the for 6 months after me retiring, I was desperately depressed. It was horrible. Like it's like somebody died, and it
Yeah,
was horrible, absolutely horrible. And I'd done some silly things, and which thankfully I don't do anymore, which is great.
yeah,
But then I'm much better physically than I was. I mean, I'm still broken. I am fucking. I've got liver issues. I've got I've type 2 diabetic. I've still my neck's a wee bit goosed. I've got nerve damage, but I'm mentally much better, much fitter, much healthier. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to try this again.
yeah, yeah.
I'm going to try. And first match back,
See, that's the thing. Like, I always get a wee bit itchy. Like, I play with wrestling, and it's parts of me. It's like it's because I do love it, but it's bits where I'm like, I would love to go to the creative side of it because I'm
yep,
more into like storyboards or filming and editing and all that sort of stuff. That's
mhm,
always been my passion, and
okay,
that sort of stuff. I mean, I feel like a bit of a dingle doing this. I messaged Luke King Sharp not long ago. Just I thought, just because I just had a niggle and I was just like, I really want to do little short videos, little comedy clips for just my character. It's more because I tried to do it with BBC Social when I was with them, and
yep,
they never got it. They're like, we're not into wrestling, but I was just thought, I wonder if like just because I like Luke King Sharp sort of style, it's ECW and I felt, oh, what a fanny. Why did I message him? But I just thought, well,
should have messaged me, mate. Should have messaged me because like that's the thing we respect. We are about giving chances. We'll
yeah,
happily let somebody throw shit at the wall and see what sticks.
yeah,
And at the end of the day, that's what wrestling should be. Is this going to work? Is it no? Respect's always been that type of place where if you get a new idea, that's great, let's try it. We tried that with Caithness as well when we brought in Solar. Solar was wearing his mask and then he didn't want to do that anymore. It's like, right, what's your character? Oh, I want to be this guy, I want to be the King Joffrey of wrestling. It's like, right, okay, go for it. And
yeah,
me and Dave were like, right, okay, this could work. And it did. He became King Robert Wishart and he was a dick.
yeah,
And that was one of the best matches I've ever had in Caithness was me versus him. And again, I bring that down to training because we trained in the same place. Me and him have got fantastic chemistry in the ring. We done a
yeah,
seminar with Dave Taylor, and at the end they asked us to put together a very small 4 minute match, and people were away planning, and me and him just went in the ring and bust out a 4 minute match. It told a fantastic story, and Dave was like, "You two know each other?" It's like, yes, yes, we do.
yeah,
So, like in that character that Solar wanted to use, Dave worked with it really well. And again, like you were saying there, we'd be happy if you were to do a video and say, "Can you see if this would work with our audience or whatever?" We'd be like, right, okay, we'll fire it out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
yeah.
But
It
then
was
some people would just like their own shit and that's it. Like,
ach no, like I'm like I mean that's just like, I'm like yourself. I just get a niggle and every now and again I'm like, there's something about wrestling, but I keep leaning to that, and then because I'm like, could I go back to training and being up here? I thought, well, if I could make sort of comedy videos with my character and do like mind the TV show bottom,
yeah, of course.
guy like sort of like just do like little stunts, sort of like nonsense, and
Yeah.
see if it works. It'll be a 2-minute segment. Because I tried it with BBC Social, and at a time when they're like, "No, we're not into wrestling. We don't know what you're on about. It's a niche thing." I'm like, "All right," but I left it in the corner there, and then this couple, I think it was Christmas. I was like, "I fancy doing that." Means I did contact him. I was a bit boozy, and I thought, never heard nothing back. I thought, fair enough. He's probably got plenty of other people. He doesn't want to listen to my piss.
That's Chrissy for you. That's
Yeah.
Chrissy. I'll not go in.
Fair enough, man. I mean, he's doing well. So it's just, anyway, we're going off on mad tangents here.
Always do. That's how podcasts work with me. I've only got until 8 o'clock anyway, and I've got to go get my daughter, which is a pain in the backside because
All right,
I'll just
sorry.
keep yapping like hell. No, it's my fault. I keep yapping like hell.
Right, it means like you say, like moth to a light bulb, like people who come to wrestling is you would say ADHD or autism or dyslexia or they're all slightly, and I'm not saying this out of badness, but not damaged, but you know what I mean, because I'm honestly
We are broken toys.
Yeah.
I done this. I said this exact thing in my retirement speech online. Not online, on the video that you watched earlier, and I said wrestling, especially us, is for broken toys and people that don't fit in.
Yeah.
And it's the ones that don't fit in make the best people, because then you relate to them more. Like completely, you relate to these people because you are one of them, and this is why I've lasted so long, and I've been given the moniker the King of the Wee Tunes. I'm not a big wrestler. I'm not going to be known all of Scotland. I'm not your Grados. I'm not your Looking Sharps. Like, but I'll go to a wee tune and I'll make sure that they know who I am because I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I'm the idiot up the street. You know what I mean? You're that guy that does the wrestling. Aye, that's me. Aye, and that was the same with Caithness.
Yeah.
It was the same with Caithness, and the fact I've got family in Caithness as well. It's like, oh, he's one of that lot, and what I am one of that lot. Don't talk about it as much, but wrestling brings people like that together because there isn't anywhere else for them, and when we come together, it creates something magical. I said this about Caithness Pro. I've said this about Respect Pro Wrestling as well. It's a family thing, and we stick together because at the end of the day, who else is going to look out for us?
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, like, I think that's a good bit, but it's also a sad bit where I do find that it comes a clique, because I think it's certain parts, like when I went, I don't know, did I get judged? And it's like, and actually, if you got to know me, and I'm really shy, or like at the time,
That comes down to previous reputation, so to speak, not from you. So before I started going up north, obviously had a bad rep, untrained, no insurance, X, Y, and Z, right? And to that point, there was some relative truth to it, obviously. And then I got some stick when I first went up from folk at Reckless Intent. Because Reckless Intent could not stand Caithness for some reason. I've no idea why. In fact, you know what it was? It's a couple of the wrestlers gave their CV in and they get told no.
Right.
So as soon as they get told no, they went, no, we're not doing it. Oh, no, they're arseholes, they're everything under the sun. So, all right, well, go fuck yourself if you don't work. If they're not going to give you work, it's not a slight on you. It's just that they might be busy. They might not see your character. They might not just don't want you. So that obviously reverbed round about Scottish wrestling. It's like, you don't want to go up there because their backyard. It's like, well, they might not be as good as you, but they're willing to learn, and it's no backyard when they're trying their hardest. So that is one of the reasons I wanted to go up as well, to go, right, okay, what can you do, and can we make it better? And like yourself, obviously, you came the first time I'd seen your videos, actually, you wrestled divers and Aspen in the youth club.
Yeah.
And the first thing, when you took the super kick,
it looks so good there, but it was
my biggest pet peeve, and I've always said this every time I see you, is when you take a ring exit, you do it with both hands and just go fucking backwards, and I'm like, he's going to break his fucking shoulders. He's going to pop his shoulders. That was my only issue. The last time I actually properly spoke to you was in Edinburgh. At Musso's.
That was my last ever match. I went back,
and it was at the Battle Royal, and I remember the whole thing was basically you were to come in the ring, hit us a couple of times, stand in the middle, and then everyone was going to super kick you.
Yeah.
But then that never happened. People don't understand. Just because you come from a certain place doesn't mean that's what you are
Yeah.
at all. I mean, you're willing to come down and learn and get
Yeah.
stuck in and muck in, and that's all you can ask for. Like, you're not going to come in and try be, oh, I'm this guy, I've learnt this much, I'm going to boss you about. No, fuck that. You come in and you help do it. I'm pretty sure you tried to put out a promo video at Tynecastle.
I did do aye.
Yeah,
I
you
did.
did, saying something about what, some Mike Musso was fucking your missus or something.
I'm going to go back for wrestling tonight. There's a guy called Mike Musso, and I heard by Pishy Dave he was fondling with my missus up at Stratty's, sitting there with choogly booglies in his face. He said it never happened.
It's like,
Exactly what I did. Aye.
I remember it well. I mean, that's gone back easily, fuck, eight years.
But 8 years, aye. But the thing is, with me, I never took myself seriously. I trained and all of it, but I never had this ego where I'm like, oh, I'm good at it. But even that match with Dickie Divers and that, I actually thought it was a good match. And then I heard them like, whatever in the background, like saying, oh, we've stiffened them and that. I said, I never thought it was that stiff. I literally thought it was pretty a good match. Yeah. But it's not a good match. It was 3 minutes and 16 seconds long. I thought I did.
I remember. I actually think I've got a funny feeling I have it on this PC somewhere that I'm on.
I got it. I posted it up. That's how much I liked it.
I mean, that was a good wee crowd.
Aye.
That was a good crowd for what it was. You know what I mean? And the fact that it makes sense for a promotion to use local talent. So why would they not? They done it years later when Musso came up and Caithness lot were tearing posters down completely.
Right.
And I think at this point, who was it? Pilkey had fell out with Dave, big style, and left.
Aye.
And this a year later, and then he's suddenly on Musso's show after not even a year of training, and Dave was raging. Absolutely livid. He's tearing down posters. And I remember one of the trainees got caught tearing down a poster by Mike Musso.
Oh, I
Literally, yeah. And I got a phone call from the trainee going, "Oh my God, he's seen me. What did I do?" And I was like, just nothing. What you got caught red-handed? What do you want me to fucking do? I'm 600. I'm 300 odd miles away. There's nothing. And Musso's phoning me as well, going, "One of your trainees." I said, "No, my fucking trainee." Fuck off. And then we went to the show, and then Pilkey was on the show because he was local and because at that point Dave didn't want to do business,
Aye.
and it made no sense because if he did, both shows could have made money.
Yeah. I know. But Pilkey, I still speak to Pilkey, yeah.
Aye, I have not. I still speak to Tracy. I speak to Tracy regularly all the time. And that's the only person I really speak to. When I left Caithness in a fucking blaze of glory, the Glasgow scene's toxic. He's no wrong. It is, but if you want to learn, it's where you need to be because that's where the best coaches are. And I think
would you ever go back? Would you? Aye.
Yes. For the fact I know for a fact that maybe August, September time, there's a traveling wrestling company are looking into going up to Wick.
Okay.
And I've been asked to be on it.
That'd be good.
And I'm like, yes, like a fucking shot. And I still have the old Caithness Pro Wrestling Championship.
Yeah, brilliant.
So I would happily take that up and go, well, I'm fucking I am the best champion you've fucking had. Go fuck yourselves. But that's the arsehole in me. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do it on malice. And I know for a fact that show would sell because that is me blowing my own horn here and ego as well. If Bobby Roberts comes back to fucking Caithness, it'd be all right. It'd sell some tickets at least. It'd shift some tickets because if no, my family would at least come and watch. But right now, like the way I'm booking wise, Caithness is the last thing in my mind. Like a long conversation would have to be had first. Then obviously I started with respect and I concentrated more on respect. I mean, I gave Davis props. If I didn't go to Caithness, I wouldn't have been part of the wrestler I am now because I loved Caithness. The fans were fantastic. They didn't know what wrestling was, proper wrestling anyway, and now they do. And I like that's me. It's the people I brought up. You know what I mean? And I'll give Davis props for that. I mean, he's still there. He's still gone. So
can't
complain about it. He's still there. So. I mean, I've got his ring. I've got his ring. So, see the original ring that he had. I bought that off him for respect.
All right.
And then I sold that, obviously, eventually, because when the welds went on it, when I had a spine buster, and it fucking just, it's online, the ring just goes bang. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, well, that's fucked. So we welded it and then got a new one. And then when I sold Respect, I sold the ring. But then I bought Grassroots ring from them, which was the old Caithness ring. So
okay.
I now have the Caithness ring again.
Magic, that's cool, like, because I could build that with my eyes closed. That was one thing
Oh,
I was good at
that was
building.
probably the best ring I've worked in because it was a simple flex beam ring. It's
Yeah.
so easy to put together and it's easy to maintain. Then you
Thing is, like, it's the SSW ring. That used to be massive, and that was just like you said,
the
most
18
things
20
apart.
footer.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
remember wrestling one Friday. I only wrestled one show for SSW, and it was a
yeah.
gala. Fuck knows where at Cowdenbeath, I think it was, and it was their old gala ring that had metal beams coming in from the posts and meeting in the middle. Like it
Was
was.
that was that not Mike Missel's ring? Because like he had a
Well,
gala ring.
it
Yeah.
was Musso's ring, but then I hired it once for a show I was doing, and but
I know it's a shame because there's a lot of people from SSW I really got on with. Like I got on with a guy, Paul. He wrestles in America now and again. He wrestles
oh,
in
Paul
W.
Hubris.
Yeah,
He's brilliant. I remember asking if he wanted to work for us recently, and
mhm,
last time I spoke to him was 2017 when he'd sent me
mhm.
information asking to be booked, and I said I'll try get you on, and now he's fucking huge. I'm like
Yeah,
fuck, I wish I'd used him
he's,
previously.
he's he still like does it with W Frail, but it's
I
a shame because I think
If somebody's got an issue with me, come
yeah.
talk to me.
No, I
Everything
won't
can
I
be
won't I won't,
solved
I
with a
won't use it like that.
conversation. You know what I mean? This is a problem right now. We've had problems at Respect where people are saying, "Oh, I'm not working there because he's there." It's like, okay, why are you not working because he's there? Oh, because I heard this about him. And it's like, have you spoke to him? No.
Mhm,
Well then, shut the fuck up. If you don't want to
mhm,
work here, don't work here. You are replaceable
mhm.
completely. It's like, all right, oh, you don't want to do a show? All right, no bother. Hello, do you want a booking? Aye, cool, no bother, sorted.
Yeah. Is it, I just don't get it. That's a bit because we should all just be working together and like like at the end of the day, I'm just speaking for myself. Like I wasn't popular in high school. It means I know how it feels, and I think most people in wrestling is exactly the same
Oh, aye.
thing. I think I don't know. It's like you said, it's egos. What just
It's
absolutely
high
kills it.
high school mentality. It
Yeah.
completely is. It's he says, she says bullshit. I don't like you, so I'm not working here. It's like, all right, cool. So you don't like money? It's
uh,
okay then. It's like fine. It's like, and then we get a message. I run charity shows on a Friday night for our youth group,
okay.
and it's one of those ones where I've offered it out to people. Oh, I can't work there because you've got him. Like, right, okay, you've got less than 30 matches under your belt
Yeah.
and you're knocking back work. This is work in front of a live crowd to get your reps in, essentially. And you're saying no. So what are you doing that night? Are you going to be fucking jerking the curtain? Are you going to be
Mhm.
fucking building the ring? Are you going to be fucking wiping the baby oil off ropes? What are you going to be? Are you going to be holding a camera, or would you rather have a match?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what I'd rather do. And the thing is, you don't have to interact with people you don't like.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the problem. It's like, oh, I don't like him. Okay, don't talk to him. Or
Yeah.
sort your issue. Be a fucking grown up. My God.
Yeah. But like, I mean, I need to speak about ICW because that was the first time I met you. Years ago, you came up with a kind of red stripe and your Bobby Roberts,
Yes.
Stone Cold Bobby Roberts, and
I
I thought you're brand new. You came up, you started speaking to me, and then you went off. And I just watched one of your matches at night. It was the night when everybody got in the ring, and then and it was you could see ICW just building up. It was just getting bigger
it
and
was
bigger.
huge.
Uh,
Like, obviously, I'm not commenting on ICW now, but back then, like, it was fantastic. And it just to be a small cog in a massive machine at that point was just brilliant. I mean, obviously, I'd started there as ring crew. I was brought in to help with the ring, essentially. And then I built my way up to being head of security, which I took very seriously.
yeah,
I'd be the idiot walking about with a clipboard backstage with a list of matches asking what people are doing. Are you doing a dive? Are you bleeding? Are you doing X, Y, and Z? People would trust me if, oh, Bobby's doing security, or we can do a dive because we're going to get caught properly, that kind of stuff. And then I've been able to do a Steve Austin impression for fuck knows how long since I was a boy, and it's
uh,
been perfecting over the years. And
yeah,
then I was in training at Source, and people were doing impressions, and I just hit out with mine. and about 15 people stopped dead and went, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Oh, I can do this." And then at ICW, we're down in Newcastle doing a tour, and it was only me and D with the ring crew, me and DCT, and we're backstage, and it was the show before Finn Balor went to the WWE. So this was one of Finn Balor's last indie shows, and Damo made me cut a promo with Finn Balor. Like,
Right.
I'm shouting at him in the Austin voice, like, "Oh, you're stepping in my ring, you're stepping in my territory."
TV guys always got the cameras where you don't belong. Now you're in here asking for a minute of Stone Cold's time. Here's a minute for you right here, jackass.
Blah, 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 that kind of thing. It was great. And then they led Dallas into the room blindfolded, and I done my promo, like, just, he's like, "Who the fuck is that?" And he said it was me. He says, "Mate, you're booked. Just, we'll do something with that." And then a month later, I debuted the Austin character after getting hit in the head with a chair. And then I thought it was Steve Austin.
Head earlier on. What? Bobby,
What's this?
you're one of the best damn ringside crew we've got. But I think you're concussed. And I think maybe you should take the rest of the night off, Bobby. Maybe take the rest of the night off.
Let me tell you something, you little mealy-mouthed bastard.
What the? It sounds like Austin. It sounds like
I'm
Austin.
the best at what I do in this world, and nobody got to tell me different. Not that little jackass. Not that son bitch right there. And not that little beady-eyed piece of trash. You can kiss my ass.
Whoa! Whoa!
That was at Shugs' party, and then it just went off for there. So I remember meeting you at the Studio 24 in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was on one of the shows. I was on the opener, actually, but that was just a wee thing with me and Billy Kirkwood. Like, he came out with a can of Red Stripe and I had a can of Pepsi, and it's like, he's like sober, and I'm just like, "No, that's mine, mate." And it was quite funny, and I fucked off and went to the bar. And then, like, the 2 shows after that, because it was during the Fringe, I got tanked the 2 shows, like, living the gimmick almost, because fans are coming up and buying me beer and want to take a picture with Stone Cold Bobby, and I'm like, "Oh my God," and I was sozzled. Like, absolute, and I'm talking 15, 20 cans of Red Stripe every night. Like,
Jesus.
and then the last one was like the 50th anniversary show, which is still online, and I got asked to do a beer bash at the end, and it was magical, absolutely magical.
I was there. I could wind it like when I met you. Like,
Aye, no, that was great, and then obviously starting doing the videos with Joe Hendry, and then look where Joe Hendry is now. You know what I mean? So it's like, it all started with me and Joe Hendry doing a wee backstage skit where he's singing and I have to say the swear words in the song because he didn't want to. And now he's climbing ladders, taking the NXT Championship.
If you love Joe Hendry, how would you show and would you lather your titties and let her feel them? Cause yeah, one more time. Titties. Why are you laughing?
Thing works to take his motorcycle away and begin the transformation.
And so what's your name and where are you from?
My name's Bobby and I'm from Bobby's Autos.
And so what was the challenge today, Bobby?
Well, the challenge today was to take Wolfgang's old, decrepit, run down, frankly feminine looking motorcycle.
Oh, Jesus God. They've not pimped it. Is that Stone Cold Bobby Roberts? Stone Cold Bobby Roberts is here and Stone Cold's gearing up. I just want to know, how did this all get orchestrated by surprise? It is! The local hero, Joe Hendry! And can I just say so? You are living!
What? Joe! I see me right out of that sunset.
Bruce Springsteen. Tom Hanks and me. How about cheese of Philadelphia? Cheese.
In WWE, and I'm just like, Yeah, I'm still in my wee office here with my wee plastic title up there and my pot vinyls. So
But
aye.
what is it about Airdrie? It's literally like a hub for like everybody's, like massive wrestlers just came from your way, like
It's just what it is. It's like you say, it's population more than
yeah,
anything else. I mean, and it's down to trainers as well. I mean, you look at what Source used to be known as NXT years ago.
okay,
So WWE bought the name NXT from SWA, the Scottish Wrestling Alliance, because that was their developmental at the time. That was their training school. Area 52 in Linwood was called NXT. And as the story goes, John Laurinaitis came across, loved the name, basically bought it from them and put a couple of guys on, like, gave them a tryout. And then obviously you look at the guys that have came out of Source or NXT, whatever you want to call it, the Scottish version of it. You've got Demo. Drew was here, there, and everywhere. Nikki, Piper Niven. At one point, obviously, Alba Fire was at
right,
NXT Source years ago before she went to PBW. Joe Hendry, obviously.
yeah,
The Coffees, you know what I mean? So there's so much talent just to come out of that one school. I mean, PBW also gave it some fantastic talent as well, but the ones that came out of like Source are unreal and have went freaking miles. I mean, no blowing me on, but I took 26 championships all over Scotland and England.
there you go.
But I also debuted in 6 months as well because I was training 4 times a week,
Yeah,
doing private sessions. So, and it's just, and again, it's down to the coaches. I mean, Demo was fantastic. Demo pushed, and pushed you. He wanted to get the best out of you. You know what I mean? There was other coaches there as well, but I'm not going to mention names because I don't like them. But it's they expect the best, and if you're not the best, then they push you to be better. If that makes
okay,
sense. And then if that didn't happen to me, I wouldn't be where I'm now. Respect still going strong. I might not be at the helm, but it's still going really well and pushing well. We've got a show coming up March 6th at the Garnet Community Campus. We're raising money for the parent council, and we're nearly sold out already, and we're 3 weeks off.
oh,
So
that's good.
that holds 200 seats. So it's going to be one of the biggest shows in North Ayrshire in years. Like so, if it wasn't for that type of training, then I don't know where wrestling would be right now in Scotland.
Yeah. I like you're in a moment when ICW was just taking off,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh, there
and
was a rocket up its arse, and it was
uh,
like,
it's a shame seeing it what it is now. And I'm not going to put this in it either, because I mean it goes in waves. But like
yeah,
5 year ago, it was just in a big. That was at its peak, and you're there, when it was starting like that.
yeah.
I was,
I mean, 5 year ago was obviously well before we went into COVID,
yeah,
and I think at that point wrestling was coming down a wee bit. Because obviously it peaked, it just burst into being obviously with Grado. Obviously we've got to mention Grado for making Scottish and British wrestling as popular as what it was. And I think now it's on a come down a wee bit, but it's just going to go. It's going to burst again. Like you said, everything comes in waves, so there will be this big spike coming, and it's getting ready for that spike. Right now, there's a lot of promotions in Scotland fighting for space. Like the whole territory system is now next to gone. You know what I
yeah,
mean? People are just running shows wherever they want to run because people want to see wrestling. They don't really want to see the people on the show. They want to see wrestling. That's the thing. Like, unless you've got
yeah,
Grado on a show, nobody's a draw.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Unless you're the local guy. And even then, it's like they want to see wrestling in the word entertainment because that's what it is. It's entertainment. That's all they want.
yeah,
Like I said, and it goes back to the whole kind of he says, she says, I'll not work here, you don't work there. It's like nobody cares who you are. They just want to be entertained. Go out and
yeah.
entertain and do the best you can at your ability.
Aye, you're right, man. How long do you have before you?
I've got another 20 minutes,
Oh,
25
that's all right.
minutes.
You all good, aye?
Aye, I'm fine now.
Sorry, man. I mean, I never knew you were in the army.
Yeah.
I mean,
For a very short time.
yeah,
251511179 private. Blah 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 blah. I was in the AGC, based down in Winchester. So I really didn't get out of the army that like So essentially what had happened was, to cut a long story short, I was carrying my kit bag upstairs, which is about £16, and my on my back, and my corporal at the time, I was the only Scottish guy in our whole kind of in that whole area, and my corporal was Scottish and decided to take an instant dislike to me. Corporal Cunningham kicked me in the back of the leg as I was going upstairs, and my knee smashed right off the edge of the stairs, and I ended up having to come out of the army, unfortunately. So I was absolutely gutted, because like doing this way, there's nothing for nobody, and sometimes it's the only option. And like, don't get me wrong, if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have met my partner, I wouldn't have kids, I wouldn't have started wrestling. So part of me, I'm kind of glad that I did. I mean, I did use it as a gimmick only for the fact I was it. I'd lived it. You know what I mean? There's other wrestlers out there that claim they do the army gimmick, and it's like they've never touched a rifle.
Yeah.
You
I
know what I mean?
only found that out 2 days ago. Like, because
Really?
I knew you had the army gimmick.
Yeah.
But I never knew you were actually in the army.
Aye.
I mean, merch. You sold merch something silly, like
Oh yeah! Oh my God!
T-shirts.
At one point, my merch was one of the highest selling in ICW, and ICW had nothing to do with it. So, like, I'd spoke with the guys, and I was like, "I've got an idea for a T-shirt. How would you think about it?" Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I says, "Well, can I sell it then?" He's like, "I go for it. Do what you want." I was like, "No bother." And I must have sold out boxes. At one point, I grabbed one of the trainees at the time and says, "You're coming with me," and it's outside the garage, and I took my box, and I'm in character, full Stone Cold gimmick, and I'm basically forcing people to buy my T-shirt, and they thought it was great. And the wet shirt still sells to this day.
Yeah, it's a good shirt. Even if what is it, stoner? Like I heard you say that on a podcast. I still got one more stoner in me. I was like, oh, hopefully he's not that old. He should have more stoners in him. Like,
I try my hardest not to hit stunners anymore, because it sucks so bad on my lower back. I'm like, oh my God, this sucks. But I mean, I've tried to change my finisher, but it's one of the ones where you kind of make it synonymous. I didn't want my whole gimmick to be I'm an Austin mark, you know what I mean? I didn't want that, but then that's just what it's turned into now, because I'd done the Stone Cold Bobby stuff, and it stuck so much, and I still do the occasional throwback to it, where like my whole thing is I'll do the whole Luthez Prez and the stunner kind of stuff as well. And like the last show I done there, again I was wrestling the Wanderer, and I, like, at the very end of the show, I shook his hand and hit him with a stunner and shouted DTA, that kind of stuff. But some of those, obviously, you know for a fact, wrestling doesn't pay much. You've got to subsidise it somehow, and merch is the best thing for it. When I came up to Caithness, I came up with 20 wet shirts, and I left with none. I was so happy with that, and then I brought out the Arrive Stun Cunts Leave one, which sold not too bad as well. But the wet one, and I always claim this one works, because you don't have to be a wrestling fan to understand it. It's a Scottish thing, and it's sold. I think one of the ones I sold quite well was a T-shirt that said Ayrshire Mafia on it.
All right,
I had that. Grado had it. Piper Niven, Noam Dar, Lionheart, and Drew Galloway. Drew Galloway actually wore it on a TNA show.
Did he? Magic.
I was so chuffed with
it.
I was so chuffed with it. I was like, "There's my fucking T-shirt. Holy fuck, wow." On
Cool,
TNA, I was like, Jesus, man. As I say, I still get the occasional order through for a wet shirt, and I'm like, fucking hell, I've got to print this thing now.
But even your whole gimmick was like, you start off as a sort of army guy till a Stone Cold guy, but in even a Scottish guy, like even that shirt, like 100% Scottish beef, or was it?
Aye, 100% pure Scottish beef. Aye,
it all blends in there.
It all kind of like it's a kind of Chris Jericho thing. You know what I mean? I don't reinvent my gimmick. I just change a different. Every part of my gimmicks has been my personality. You know what I mean? Like Private and Sergeant Bobby Roberts is the more kind of like disciplined side of my like my in my own head. You know what I mean? Stone Cold Bobby Roberts is just something I've always wanted to do, and it worked. And then we go to 100% pure Scottish beef, who is the guy that's down the road. That's the everyday man. That's your pal. Oh, I met him in the shop buying a pint of milk, that kind of thing. That's 100% pure Scottish beef. Then you go to the enforcer, Bobby Roberts, who is the guy that you really don't want to piss off. That's the guy that's always got your back. If I was a good guy, it's like I'm going to fuck you up. If I'm a bad guy, well, you've paid me, I'm going to fuck you up. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
this new incarnation of mine is just I'm going to speak my mind. I've got the T-shirt. It's my entrance tune. I don't care anymore. This is me now. If you don't like it, I don't care. I'm going to say what I want to say, and that's it. If you like it, you don't. You don't. And that's how it comes out in the ring as well. It's just that's what it is. It's like fuck it.
aye, fuck, it's good, man. Like you're really open about mental health.
Yeah,
I like that about you because like a lot of guys just didn't speak about it. They didn't, and then
it's
uh,
such men's mental health has got such a stigma, and I go back to the whole men need to be this and strong, and they don't talk. Like I'll go back to my dad was never one for his feelings at all, in
yeah,
any way whatsoever. Apart from his grandkids, he loves his grandkids and would show affection and stuff. So I had that in my head. This is how a man's meant to be. We don't talk about shit like that. But then going through a lot, and I hate the word trauma dumping, right? It's a very Gen Z, trauma dumping. But then when you open up your mind about it, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, if you've been through shit, you need to talk about it because it will pollute your mind. It will fuck you up. I held a lot of things back over the years. Like my dad passed away in May 2019, and I held on to that for years, and it polluted my mind. It ruined my wrestling. It ruined my relationships with my partner in wrestling as well, in the training school, and to the point where I broke down. I was mentally just gone. I would spend nights in the training school just sitting there, just
yeah,
no caring about stuff, and like, I need to be here. Like, and then obviously retired, and I was kind of no forced into retirement. It needed to be done because I was on the verge of like physical and mental health just done.
yeah,
Checked
yeah,
out. If you see me at a show, you'd be like, "Is Bobby all right?" And I'd be like, "No," because I'd be doing silly things. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I'd have done a silly thing before going into a match and stuff like that. I was a danger to myself and somebody who I was working with. You know what I
right,
mean? So and then obviously my younger brother passed away. He was 34. He passed away. He had issues with drugs and alcohol, and to the point where he didn't see an end to it. Like he tried to get help and he couldn't. So he
yeah,
did
yeah, of
things happen. Unfortunately, I took that really bad.
course,
At that point, I done some really silly things, and eventually I stupidly fell down a cliff
yeah,
and fell 20, 25 foot. And I still maintain to this day, he was watching over me when that happened because I'm still here. That changed my life about completely. Started
yeah,
going to groups, started talking about it. Everything. I'm completely open and honest with anybody who wants to ask me anything. You'll know this just with this conversation. I'm
yeah,
an open book. You ask me something, I'll tell you. I'll tell you how I feel, and I'll tell you what happened or what's happening. And it's made me a much better person now, and I'm a massive advocate for men just speaking, even to somebody else. Like another guy can talk to another guy, and it can stay between them.
mm,
That's the bro code, so to speak. But then you've got so many men's mental health groups popping up now, which are fantastic. I'm in the process of trying to open one in Lochwinnock at my community
mm,
centre as well. I've got all the facilities there. I've got dartboard, I've got pool table, I've got tea and coffee, you know what I mean, and
mm.
biscuits, all that kind of, all the stuff that every man needs just to have some
Yeah,
fun. Christ, there's an old PlayStation 1 there and an N64, Christ, we'll crack out Mario Kart. And it's all it's about sometimes is just being able to have that ability to talk
yeah,
and
yeah,
just not so much vent, but just knowing there's somebody else there that you can actually talk to, and then you go from here and you breathe and you, and then
yeah.
that's you. You know what I mean?
That's good, man. Honestly, like that was one thing when I was seeing your podcast. You're quite open. There's a lot of people what says goes that whole man. All right, no feelings. Bottle it up and they either they self-destruct with drink or drugs or
Yeah.
and deal it that way and numb it. But no, it's good. It's good. It's good what you're doing and being so open about it. And yeah, I'm guessing, like in the last couple of years, you think it's been a lot better with yourself, or you still have your days, or
I still have moments, self-doubt, but I talk about them. If I'm feeling upset or I'm feeling like I'm going to close in on myself, I'll talk about it. Uh, Sometimes it just takes a wee bit of music, or like this office is my sanctuary. I'll come up here and I'll chill and I'll sit and play Warcraft. And I've been playing Warcraft for 21 years and it's my escape. You know what I mean? And wrestling's also my escape. I've now took to the fact I don't deal with drama anymore, which is a major. As soon as you can take a step back from other people's shit that doesn't involve you, I will happily sit and listen to somebody, no problem. I'll happily give them advice, no problem. Bring my name into it, and I'll take nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So this is my wee, like you say, my office. This is my sanctuary. It's surrounded by everything when I was a child, essentially, that I wanted. So I've got Power Ranger stuff, original Power Rangers, like from 1995. I've got original Austin figures. I've got Harry Potter stuff. I've got Jurassic Park. I've got an old Atari 2600 sitting there. I've got Mankind's mask or the Undertaker's hat. I've got a full bookcase there of PlayStation 1 and 2 games. It's huge.
I say that's like me. I just bought a Fire Stick with all the retro games on it.
I've got that as well.
It's best thing ever. Best 30 quid I spent is that.
I've got. I mean, I'm sitting here. I've got my phone sitting here, but in front of me, I've got my main PC, which is loaded with games. To the right of me, I've got my Xbox, which has also got all my games. Underneath that, I've got another gaming PC, which is strictly for Warcraft and Warcraft only.
All right.
So, and you know what I mean? And then I go across to my community centre. I have an arcade machine that I've programmed that has got 4,000 arcade games on it. I've got a PS1, N64, and a Mega Drive over there as well.
So you can't beat Mega Drive. I think that's the best console ever. That's the one.
I would beg to differ because I was an addict for the old Commodore Amiga 1200.
All right, aye.
So I had one of them. It was my first proper console as a child. Don't get me wrong. I had the old Atari 2600 with the wood in front. That was my first one. Then I had an old, what's called a Coleco Grandstand, and it was the one you could play Pong. Honestly, I'll show you.
All right.
That somebody gave me that for free.
Aye.
I was well chuffed with that. It still works. It actually still works. I'll bring in my wee Bobby doll.
That's cool, like that.
That was my mother-in-law made that. That's actually a removable belt. If you're looking for something like that, she's great. It's Janet's on Facebook. She makes custom dolls. That's fantastic. But I like with men's mental health, like the biggest stigma is talking. It's everything's wrong to talk, and it's not.
No, definitely not. I think it's good that it's like people like yourself. I try to get people on, and it was another guy who came on, and he was really honest. He was a boxer, and he was on about, and I was like, that's what people want to hear, because then at least if somebody is listening, they can go, all right, if Bobby Roberts can do it, surely I can speak about it.
I mean, the thing is, like, there's still people in the world who use the information against me or against somebody, and it's like, oh, you're a tit.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like, if that's what you want to do, let's talk about it. Yeah. What's the reason behind it? Are you suffering? Are you getting any issues? Do you want to chat? Do you want a cup of tea? Do you want a biscuit? Do you want to play Warcraft? everything in the world can be solved with a conversation.
Yeah.
And I've used this recently quite a lot with things and gone, like I said earlier, it's like, have you spoke to this person about an issue? No, we'll have a conversation. I've just reconciled a relationship I thought was dead and buried. And I spoke with the person last night for like 3 hours. It was great. It was fantastic. And now we're like, we had issues previously, and now we don't. That's what it takes. A 3-hour call. We sat for 3 hours last night till 1 a.m. I was like, Jesus fuck. That was a great conversation. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, would I like to have that conversation with somebody up north? Yes. Because at one point when my dad died, I was like, do you know who I want to talk to? I want to talk to him. Because we got on so well. And there is part of me that misses it. It really does, like the phone calls or the conversations or just yatting away, just talking shit. That kind of thing. But whether that'll happen is a different thing.
It might happen. I mean, but I think we went through a lot of stuff. I mean, like, I was going to touch on a bit about you going through sort of hardcore phase as well, like the pins and all of that. And I kind of thought, is this sort of self-harming at the time? Because I was like, because you weren't that type of wrestler, but you're going through this stage of like,
is that the last match or part of like
part of like stuff I was seeing before, and now I was seeing you're using more hardcore stuff, because I was at a time when I think you left ICW and I started seeing you going through more hardcore.
that was like more kind of things with respect, not reckless intent. I think I'd done a few matches with St George and brought tax, and they wanted to do a no D. Basically, wanted to write St George out for a bit, and I was like, let's do a no DQ, and he gets injured, and then so I was like, right, what are we using? And I was very open at that point. I'm just starting to work for this company. It's like, what do you want to do? And then we brought the tax in, and then obviously I remember after that they started using doors, and I was being the size I was the only person who could put somebody through a door, like spearing them. And then I remember obviously up north, and it's like right, these are different things that nobody's really done. So when I wrestled Pilkey, Solomon, in his rematch for the title, it's like right, let's do like a fucking street fight or whatever, and we brought tax in. Which was hilarious because like we'd sent somebody out who bought like I think 5 boxes of tax, and then there was a lot. And then when it came to getting the tax out, there was only 1 box, and I was like, ah, my Pilkey, no bother. He's just hid it, and then when he went to take the spine buster, he fucking shouted at it. I was like, prick.
Did he not take it? No.
Oh, he took it, but he didn't have a choice. And then obviously with Dave as well, we used to bring in a lot of Lego. And I love a Lego bump. It's hilarious because it gets everybody knows how sore it is to stand on Lego. So when you're doing a bump on it, like there was last Friday night, we brought Lego into because we'd done a like one out street fight. There was like bacon trays. I get hit in the head with a roll of tinfoil, steel chair obviously, and then Lego, and like it's a shock factor to be fair. And sometimes it is good to take yourself out of that comfort zone. But you don't want to remain in that comfort zone because you don't want to be known as that person all the time. There's a lot of people who do a lot of hardcore wrestling, but they're actually really good wrestlers as well. Like proper, actual, great technical ability wrestlers. And sometimes I think people hide behind hardcore because sometimes they might not be able to. They can't express themselves as much as what they want to. And don't know, there is a niche market for hardcore wrestling. I love attitude hardcore wrestling. WWE Attitude Era hardcore wrestling. That's my type. I don't like deathmatch wrestling. I appreciate it. I just don't like it. You know what I mean?
I'm kind of like I love DCW. That's what got me into it. You know, but in like you got deathmatch wrestling. It's like once in a blue moon having a death match is all right, but having a death match and the next match another death match, you're like, well, I've seen it. One death match, you've seen them all.
I mean, I get the psychology. You want to maim your opponent as much as you can. But then to the point where does it stop becoming fun and starts becoming quite dangerous? I mean, wrestling itself is dangerous. You know what I mean? There's things that can happen and go wrong. Like fuck it, as you know, I broke my neck twice, so things go wrong. So if you're getting hit with a light tube, yeah, it shatters. But what happens if a bit of glass gets in your eye? And then you're blind because you want to do a wee spot that's going to pop 40 people in a crowd. And again, I'm no slighting deathmatch in any way whatsoever. It's just, and I know a lot of guys that do it, and I've got a couple of friends that do deathmatch wrestling, but it's just not my cup of tea. As I said, the hardcore kind of stuff I was doing, it wasn't so much, had nothing to do with it. I self-harmed in different ways, to be fair, like silly things. I went, like my self-harm with wrestling was continually doing so. Constantly wrestling, like to the point where I was physically exhausted at points. I was wrestling 4 or 5 times in one weekend, and I'm not getting home to see the kids. I'm not getting to spend time with my wife. That was my self harm when I just didn't want to stop, and then when I finally did, I was like, wow, I've missed so much.
Like before we go, like you see before wrestling, were you suffering with depression, and you know, or was it this when your brother?
Wrestling itself has caused the majority of my problems.
I'm laughing at it, but no, it's not funny, man.
No, you can. That's the thing. If you can't laugh at something, it's like the majority of my problems in life have been through wrestling. Like I've lost friends through it. I've gained friends. I've gained lifelong friends. Like my earlier career, like when I was training, I started when I was like 27, 28, and I mistook my life experience for experience, and I got my balls chewed out constantly for it to the point where I eventually get kicked out of the training school. But it was also the biggest breath of fresh air I ever had. and it was brilliant. I didn't really suffer from much depression beforehand. Before wrestling, it was only when I started wrestling, and then addiction took over with wrestling and other things, essentially. And that's when everything started manifesting because you have what I've always said is when you start training, you've got this hero worship of the people that are training you. You want to impress them as much as you can, and nothing else will matter because you want that person to go, "Oh, well done," and give, "Well done, you've done this." And then you're addicted to the adoration from fans, and then you get addicted to working all the time because people want to be, you want to be on shows, etc., and all that kind of thing. And that's when you lose yourself completely, and you start becoming who your wrestler. Essentially, you forget where Bobby Roberts is and Robert McLeish is, and there's no in between anymore. You're either one or the other. And then when you finally get back to being you, eventually it's like, right, okay, that's no me anymore, and that's what I'm like now. Like I am completely 100% pure Robert McLeish with added Bobby Roberts, or Robert McLeish featuring Bobby Roberts. That's a t-shirt. Aye. So like now I'm pretty sure I've got a good solid handle on my mental health, and I take myself. I'm only recently back to wrestling for the simple fact I'm blocking out any toxicity that's there.
Okay.
And by doing that and using that practice, like I still self-medit, I do meditation, sorry, uh, quite a bit, and it works. It's just taking a couple of minutes out of your day every day to just sit, relax, and chill. And I done hypnosis as well. I went to see a hypnotherapist. Best thing I ever done.
Really?
Best thing. 6 weeks. Honest to God, but best money I've ever spent, and it changed my life completely. That
Right.
was dying, but
Yeah, that's good, man. No, but I might actually look into that if you're saying that.
honestly, I highly recommend it. Like highly recommend it. Do your research. If you I done so many different things to try and get my mental health back on like a good track, and it was my mum that said to me, "Try this." So she paid for it. She wanted to see me better, and I did. And I've never looked back since. Completely. I'm as open as honest as I've ever been. I've got a great relationship now with my kids and my partner. And then wrestling's just came back into it. People weren't happy I was going back into it, to be fair, from family life, because I'd seen what had happened previously, and it's hard to turn around and say it's not going to be the same, because if I could tell the future, I'd be a fucking lottery winner. You know what I mean? My accent's changing there because of you, by the way.
Huh?
My accent's changing a wee bit.
Oh, is it?
I can't help it. Like my
Oh, it's all
Keith
good.
comes
It must because you like an orpha. That's what.
no, my gran and my mum and that whole side's all from Caithness, so it comes out occasionally. When I used to sit with my gran talking away, I couldn't understand what she was saying, and then when I went up, obviously to Thurso, and then I come back down, I was like, no, I understand what you're saying. And there's a wee video I've got, and it comes up every year, and it's my granny sitting just with cousins up there, just getting the crack. And I could never understand a word they were saying, and now I can understand it word for word.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, and I honestly, I'd so miss Caithness. I'd love to come back, just even for just a weekend, or even pop across to Orkney, because don't get me wrong, there's part of me is trying to convince the guy that runs Respect now to let's do Orkney, because I know how much it costs, and I know how much it would sell, and I know if somebody sees this video, they're going to go to Orkney and try to run it. So there's a market there, but
it's got such a big space. You could go to Inverness and all the tunes all the way up. Like it would be so many.
we probably could. We probably could. I mean, I don't know what Mike Musso's plans are for touring, because obviously he used to do a big summer tour
He
where
used to
he'd
do
go
it well.
like Ullapool and Wick and work his way down and go into Dingwall and Oban and all that, but it's not been done. I think the last time we done Oban, he had Jay Lethal on his show.
Jeez, yeah. Aye. But I can't mind the last time Mike came up and you were even up with us. But
Last time he was up, Pilkey was on his show in front of a whole 25 people. And Pilkey, for some reason, Pilkey wore his old black singlet and came out with what looked like a curtain wrapped through him.
Fair enough. Yeah. Man, you're more than welcome. Come, if you ever want to come up, just give me a shout.
Oh, definitely, mate. Honestly, if I had good reason, if that makes
Yeah, I
sense.
get you, but it's a long trip just for.
It's a
But,
bit. The one thing I loved about coming to Caithness, obviously, when I was wrestling, was the drive. Like up for here to Inverness was shit. Hated it.
yeah, yeah.
But then when you get from Inverness over that bridge, absolutely loved it. As soon as you got up the Berry Braes, I'm like, this is Scotland. This is the way it should be. And
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
looking at the top of the Berrydales like that. This is absolutely stunning. And then you're going through where was it, Brora? I love my mum's dog was named Brora.
All
So it
right.
was, and I remember coming back down the way as well with the missus and the Waynes, and we stopped off at the wee park in Brora as well. And I always try to convince Dave to run a show there. And I think somebody did at one point. They ran a show in Brora, but it wasn't popular. 'Cause it's not a really big tune. But
You got everybody run. You would be surprised, because there's like nothing happening. I think everybody
definitely.
will go
That's why Orkney sold, because we bugger all in the place.
Yeah.
But we ran Orkney the same day. There was a rugby sevens tournament on. It was like a countrywide thing. So there was folk from England and Ireland coming up, and then they go, oh, we'll come to the wrestling at the night. It was absolutely brilliant, bouncing. But I mean,
Oh.
I'd definitely come up. I'd definitely come back to Wick if I had good reason to, whether it be wrestling or even just visiting, like friends and family. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
you never know. That's the
Never
thing
know.
with wrestling. You
Well,
never know.
you said to me years ago, you said, "Oh, no bridges burnt." When you said that to me, and I said, "No, I'm not going back." And you went, "No, we can fix this."
Yeah.
And
That's what never say never in wrestling. Never
Yeah.
say never. And there's always as I said, there's always things can be fixed by conversation. So if somebody's watching this and they feel like chatting, I'm more than welcome. My door is always open. The kettle's always on. And it's the same with yourself. If you ever fancy coming down this way, there's a ring in Lochwinnock. And if you want to roll about, it's there. If you want a cup of tea, it's there as well.
Cheers, man. Well, we'll leave on that note, and then.
Fantastic. Just make sure.